One of them is that I, excuse me, try to work with what I call a front loading system, loading up the first 2 weeks of the month, and that's where I came up with the idea about the 200 for 100. I don't call it that, I call it W dollars.
Okay.
And the way I do that is I say what I normally do is I offer, you know, I just say, look, you know, what I love about Nutrimetics is that this is how I create the environment when everyone's got there, is I work with structured bullet points, and that is that you get to try before you buy, because what I try to do is relate back to why they would want to shop with us rather than go retail. Okay, and what we're doing is we're bringing the shop to them in the comfort of their own home, stress-free environment. They get to try before they buy, comfort of their own home, and they get to have fun with the girls. So that's my 3 main bullet points that I concentrate on when I first start. Then I talk about, just say, Sharon was my hostess, and now Sharon booked on a great offer that I had for this particular night. I work with what I call hot spots. And there's spots that I go through in my diary where, you know how sometimes you look at your diary, and I'm talking this from a consultant's point of view, and you think, oh, that week's looking a bit lean, especially school holidays. I like to use your W dollars as my backup, because if it's there all the time, I don't see that it's going to have the same impact. So what I do is I say, well, okay, if you book on what I call one of my hot spots, these are spots that I, as a working consultant, would like to fill, I will double your dollars. And they go, what does that mean? I say, well, normally you get $100 for $50. However, if you book on one of my special on one of my special places, you'll get double your dollars. And I guarantee that just for having 6 adult guests attend your beauty treatment. Okay? And I make a big thing about saying that's regardless of sales or bookings, because I think what we need to do is a lot of the time take the pressure off people feeling like they've got a gun at their head. Yeah. Okay, because I find reverse psychology works. Because I'll tell you now, there has never been a show I've done in 18 years where I haven't walked out with sales, and I do quite good personal sales. Okay, so I use that reverse psychology. So that's how I create the environment of wanting to book. So everything's up front with me. I'm not a fluffy, gooey sort of person. I'm a bit like Sharon. I'm just straight to the point with things. Okay. The rest of the format is the same thing with Chris and all the other girls. The drip method of your half price shopping is very, very detrimental. So what happens a lot of the time with me is people say, well, I'm booking a party, booking a workshop, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So I get that first, because your booking is the most powerful important part. Then I say, okay, Sharon, it's fantastic. Now let's look what we can do with you now that's going to be the best value for money, because you know what? I really love to see my future hostesses getting best value for money. So I do that with every person. My one-on-ones might take 3/4 of an hour, but guys, you know, I walk out with good results because of it, because I've already had the opportunity to talk to people individually. Okay? This is exactly what I say. I feel I'm doing you a disservice to sell you a product you have not used. And they go, oh, really? And I said, look, I would love to come over. I don't say, well, if you book a party with me, I will do that. I say, look, Sharon, I'd love to come over and show you some skincare. You know, how would you feel about getting a few girls together? And if she says, look, I don't have time, whatever, I will go and do a facial on Sharon one-on-one rather than lose that opportunity. You know, so you've got to start thinking outside the square a little bit, guys, and bring yourself down, scaling a little bit. Who tries to book facials from parties if they don't get parties? Have you thought about that? They are very powerful. You know, so if someone's saying to you they want to try a product but they don't want to have a party, you need to start stepping up a little bit as a consultant and saying, well, hey, you know, part of my service is to allow you to try that product. If they want to come to you, whether you want to go to them, and just say, look, feel free to have a girlfriend if you want to. Wouldn't you rather walk away with 3 or 4 facials than nothing?
Yeah.
You know, because I tell you what, I've sold $400 from a facial with 2 people and sponsored the hostess. So I hope that's helped a little bit. When people book with me, I was having a bit of trouble there with a lot of deferments. Okay? So when something's happening, what do? You go in and you try and source out why it's happening. Because you can't if something's not working, don't keep doing it. I think that's rule number 1. Yeah. Thank you, Maureen Dines. But the whole thing is, guys, and after 18 years, you can get a little bit displacent where you just keep doing the same thing all the time. Times change, technology's changed, and the way we communicate has changed, hasn't it? Right. So one thing I thought was, okay, what can I do differently? Because what I was finding was happening was when I was going to my parties, the hostess had handed me back the hostess pack a lot of the time, and it wasn't untouched. Has anyone ever had that happen? I thought, ooh, she hasn't even read it. And it's not that I didn't do what Sharon said. I've done the phone call, I've did all the things we do. I thought, what can I do differently to make them open it and look at it? And what I decided was something that Lynn shared with us in January, is doing a handwritten card. People aren't going to leave a card in an envelope, they're going to read it. And it was a thank you, just a blank thank you card you buy for $1 from the liquidators. And what I do is I send that out with new brochures. I give a hostess pack at my party, but I go through it at the party. But what I do is I send out a handwritten card with it, and I'm very humble. When someone leaves, I'm always, and I know you don't laugh when I say I'm very humble either. But I like to be very grateful, and I say, you know what, Sharon, thank you so much for booking your treat with me. I'm really going to do my best to make sure we get everything that you want to get, plus have heaps of fun on the night. Then in the card I write, Dear Sharon, I'd just like to again thank you again for booking your treatment on the 27th of July. We've got a non-surgical facelift, and then what I do is I bullet point the offer, okay? And because you're handwriting this, guys, so trust me, you don't want to be getting writer's cramp. I put an asterisk. Don't forget Shaz. Shazza, Bazza, Kazza, we're all Aussies here, aren't we? Don't forget Shaz. Just for having 6 adult guests, you will receive your double hostess shopping, and then I'll put in brackets 200 for 100. Another asterisk. I have what I was finding too, another thing that wasn't happening for me was outside orders. Okay, I used to put an outside order sheet in. Again, you get 1, 2, and what it was, if you collect 100, you get 20 for free. What I've decided to do now is I give 5 outside order sheets, just the tear-off ones from the company. Collect me 5 outside orders, receive 50 for free at RRP price. So I put it through like rebate price. Okay? Yes, you're thinking, geez, that's a lot to be given away, Trace, but you know what? Those 5 outside orders, and if you noticed how much my sales have dropped up, it's because now the 100's turned into 200, 300.
That's right.
Because these are, some of them are $100 outside orders, not just, oh, she only wants 100. It's all about expectation again, isn't it? 5's 5, whether it be 100, 50, and it's made a big difference. And then I put another asterisk. Don't forget, with 2 bookings, pick a gift or luggage from our fantastic Hostess Reward Program, brochure enclosed. Can't wait to see you. Love, Trace. And I'll have a little smiley face. You know, so put in a nutshell, that's me.
Well done.
Well done.